All right, friends, it's T-Man, and I'm going to react to this video. So just want to say before the video starts, for YouTube algorithm, viewer discretion advised, possible graphic, I don't know, violence, something in this video, so be careful. Better leave this video now if you don't have stomach for any of this. All right.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. We are going to have to talk about the terrible events that took place a couple days ago in Minnesota involving an ICE officer, because it appears that
See the guy in the front of the car.
everybody on the Exosphere and other social media platforms are suddenly just like my father-in-law and brother-in-law. What do I mean by that? Well, they are all self-defense legal experts now. Because in my family, they used to be infectious disease experts, and then they became election integrity experts, and then they became immigration enforcement experts, and lately they've been experts in fraud investigation, and now they want to tell me how the laws of self-defense work without, of course, actually reading the law. And so what I figured we'd do today is something that no one else is really willing to do, which is take a look at what happened, but then compare that to the actual law. So that's what we're going to do today. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about what does the law say about the ICE shooting in Minnesota.
Yeah, what does the law say? I'd love to know. All right.
If you're tuning into this video to hear me say this is absolutely positively a cold-blooded murder, or this is
No, absolutely not. I'm not. I want to know your take on it. You're a lawyer.
absolutely, positively, legally justified, I'm not going there, because as a trial attorney, we
I
don't
want to see how intelligent this guy is as a lawyer and if he picked up on the facts.
try to come to conclusions until we have all the evidence. And you nor I have all the evidence right now. We are going to take a look at two video clips to at least give us a thumbnail sketch of what may happen. But we are not truly going to get to a conclusion today, but we are going to ask all of you, based upon what you know so far, what do you think? Now, we all know the incident I'm talking about.
I don't want to think, bro. I just want to know the facts. I don't want to think, and I don't want opinions.
A woman was shot and killed by an ICE agent in Minnesota.
Yeah, she was shot and killed by a supposed ICE agent, yes.
But I am not going to try to glorify this thing, and I'm not going to sit here and try to coffin surf on her. And for those of you who may think that she had it coming, that she did this to herself, that this was an FA.
Here we go with the emotions, man. This is not part of the law, whether she had it coming or not or anything. What does that have to do with her being shot and killed?
FO moment. You may be entirely right, but
Entirely right what? Acting in your personal capacity, emotional, has nothing to do with the law.
let us not divorce ourselves from the
Okay.
fact that this is a human life, a
Yes.
terrible waste of a human life, and a
is.
mother of a young child. And so this is tragic no matter how we cut it up. I know there's a lot to the backstory and what happened leading up to this incident, but I'm here to
It's tragic because it could happen to anybody.
tell you that most of that, if not all of it, is not going to matter. Let's go back to the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Yeah, the prosecution made a big deal out of all the events that led up to the incident, but really that 15 seconds that actually constituted.
Do you know this cop was in an incident previously? He put his arm through a window trying to get some guy, I don't know. And the guy did it. The guy later reported that he was assaulted by somebody in a mask. Meanwhile, it was the agent himself. He got stitches in his arms because he punched through the window of the car, tried to come in and open the passenger door. Do you understand me? This is the same thing in Canada. A couple were in an underground parking lot where two police officers, a woman and a man, were slamming on their window, banging really hard, and they feared for their lives, so they took off. And one of the officers got hit while the person was taking off. People have a right to protect themselves, even if they are in a vehicle. They have a right to flee. They don't know who these people are. Now, the same thing happened with that ICE officer and a person that he stopped. That person claimed in court that he didn't know who he was. It was some masked dude trying to break in his car.
The incident, that's what the entire trial was about. And so
Right,
what
so would you think now he's trigger happy? So in that incident, he used a taser. But in this incident, instead of using a taser, he used a gun. Why? And why was he circling the car? He was going all the way around in the car, trying to go like standing there. He was standing on the side of the car. He wasn't in front of the car. He was on the side, the very side of the car. But the question is this: how could he have shot and killed her if she rammed him with the car? He could not have enough time to draw his gun if she hit him with the car. Here's the thing. If you step on the gas and you hit somebody, they don't have time to pull out their gun and shoot you. He's like right in front of the car. How could he possibly have shot and killed her if the car struck him? How is he able to shoot her? Want to know why? Because he pulled his gun out and shot her when she was backing up the car. So was his life in danger when she was backing up the car and he drew his gun and shot her, right? For backing up the car. Was his life in danger then? No. See what I mean? He shot and killed her. She didn't hit him with the car. The car hit him because probably, or whatever, he bounced off the car, maybe pretending, but whatever, it doesn't matter regardless, because she was already dead. Her body was a corpse, and there's rigor mortis. The fucking nerves in her leg stepped on the gas and she crashed into a car. So he endangered his life, her life, and everybody else's life in that fucking neighborhood.
Led up to this will have little, if any, importance. As a matter of fact, the assessment of whether or not this was a lawful use of force is going to be based on really just a few seconds of time. And with that in mind, let's take a look at the first video clip that most of you have probably already seen. Now, I'm going to warn you that we'll probably stop it a little early simply because Google and YouTube have a tendency to completely crap themselves about here, but we will link up the videos below so that you can actually see them in their entirety. This is the first video, the one you've all seen.
Yeah, car goes around. There's the cops. This guy appears, right? And there's the woman with the cell phone. He's running around the car, and here they come. So here come the other so-called ICE agents. So the guy's busy back there at the side of the car with the other woman, right? The wife, talking to her. These two guys come up. The other guy's over there. There's a car here with the door open. No! So she's backing up the car and he's drawing his gun already. Look, he's drawing his gun there. No! He has his gun out and he's shooting at her. Oh, shit! It's a complicated situation. I don't know whether he shot at her as she was coming forward, but he tried to pretend that he bounced off the car. So he either shot when she was backing up, because he drew the gun while she was backing up. But why did he draw the gun while she was backing up? Maybe so he had enough time to shoot her? Because he knew she was going to back up and go forward because she had to go around this car? Oh my So yeah, but regardless, he's still standing. He's not injured or anything like that. He's right there standing. If she was meant to run him over, if she was going to actually really run him over, he'd be dead. God! What the What the You just what? Let's just put it this way. His life wasn't really in danger unless he put it in danger to try to pretend he was. What the did you do?
Okay, and we're going to break that down in just a moment.
I know what the lawyer's going to say already. I have not watched this because I just saw this video just popped up. And I bet you he's going to claim that this guy, he was perfectly in his so-called rights, but they don't have rights. They have duties and responsibilities. Listen, police have duties and responsibilities. They don't have rights. They're employed. They're employed by the state. Now, that lady, she has rights. She has rights. He has duties and responsibilities.
Here, but I think another video, which many of you may not have seen because it hasn't been circulated as much, but it's a different angle, and I want you to pay careful attention to this, and I want you to take a look at the officer who discharged his firearm, was actually in danger, and was, in this case, struck by the
Why was he in danger unless he put himself in danger? What was he doing standing? Listen, dude, he was standing at the side of the car. You can see him clearly in the video, his legs. He's at the very left side with the other agents at the side of the car. The front of the car never struck him. So how did he get hit by the car? If she actually weaved backward and then moved forward to the right side, how would he have gotten struck unless he himself bounced off the car to pretend?
perpetrator's vehicle. Take a look at this video.
Okay, let's see the video. Yeah, you see her going forward now. Did he kill her already and she stepped on the gas? See what I mean? Is the car out of control? Is she dead already in the car or is she still alive? So you have to ask this question. She was moving backward, but when she moved forward, gunshots went off just about when she was about to move forward. Lost control of the car, maybe. Stepped on the gas, right? She's dead. It's a dead body and it's smashed into a car over here on the right. Yeah, it looks like excessive gas, stepping on the gas because she's already dead. He shot her dead in the car. So where does he shoot now? He shot when the car backed up. She's dead. And now, let's see this. It's going a lot faster here. Right there, yeah. See, he just touched the side of the car there. He's touching the side of the car. This is after the fact. She's dead.
When we go and we do a video breakdown of this right here, it's all going to be focused on, was this officer, the one you can barely see here, or in this case, this officer right here, same guy, was he actually placed in imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. He killed that lady. She lost control of the car. She's dead.
Injury. In general, there are 4 legal justifications for using lethal force. These are them right here.
What was the justification? Because she was ordered to leave the scene. She was ordered to leave the scene. So she was leaving, even though one guy was trying to grab onto her handle of the car. And I think the other woman, she was trying to get into the car, the passenger side.
Well, we're going to ignore 3 of them because we're going to just talk about this first one right here, which is that you yourself are in imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury.
He wasn't. He drew his gun when she was backing up. Why did he draw his gun when she was backing up? And why didn't he draw his taser?
If this officer was in fact in imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury, he probably has legal justification for using lethal force. Now, I think we can probably all agree that getting run over by a car is certainly imminent threat of...
He didn't get run over by the car. He was on the side of the car. You can clearly see in the video. If he got run over by the car, then he would have been run over. He would have been struck already if he was in imminent danger.
Death or serious bodily injury. So if that was...
Okay, so did he face death? Was he in serious bodily injury after he was so-called struck, after he shot her to death, and then her body, rigor mortis, hit the gas, went flying? Was he in imminent danger? When was he in imminent danger? Before he shot her or after he shot her? And the body was out of control and stepped on the gas and smashed into a car. And supposedly he bumped himself. He himself slipped and bumped off the side of the car because he had a gun out and a cell phone in his left hand, which he dropped on the floor.
Possibility. If that actually was the reality of what could occurred, then there is a strong likelihood that the officer's actions here were lawfully justified.
Yeah, but they're not lawfully justified because his life wasn't in imminent danger. She was not armed. She's just a civilian in an automobile, and the automobile was running at the time.
But for all of the people, the Jacob Frays of the world and everything like that are just coming to their own legal conclusion, might I remind them to check?
I'm not coming to a legal The conclusion, I don't need to use emotions or anything to see exactly what was going on there. Obviously, the officer was emotional. All right. He was acting aggressive and emotional. He was acting outside the scope of his authority. He was acting without jurisdiction. He was acting not in his duties or responsibilities to secure the scene and make it safe for other civilians. He endangered himself. He endangered by pulling out a gun and displaying it to that woman in the car when she was backing up. Therefore, that would cause her to fear for her life, right? She tried to leave the scene now because she was fearing of the officers pulling the handle, banging on the car, another guy pointing a gun at her. So she tried to flee, and guess what? She was right. He fucking shot her, killed her, and then rigor mortis set in. Her body hit the gas, and the car flew forward and smashed into another vehicle, which could have caused the deaths of other civilians in the area. So you could put this case, you could tear this case apart up and down. It's kind of obvious what's going on here. He acted in his personal capacity because once she was shot, he should play that video. After his cell phone dropped and he killed her, he says, "That fucking bitch." He used profanity. It's not like he showed remorse or he really cared. "Oh my God, I killed somebody. Oh my God. Oh my God." No, he's like, "That fucking bitch."
Check out what Minnesota law says. For example, Minnesota Statute 609.066, authorized use of deadly force by peace officers. Oh, there's a
Yes, but what does it say about civilians? How does the law protect a civilian if they feel that their life is threatened? This lawyer doesn't say anything about her. Everything is about the officer.
statute directly on point in Minnesota that talks about when peace officers may use lethal force? Yeah, there is. And here's what the statute says.
When do civilians
A,
And when do civilians get to use lethal force? When they feel that their life is being threatened.
notwithstanding the provisions of section 609.06 or 609.065, the use of deadly force by a peace officer.
Yeah, but there was no cause to draw his pistol and point it at her at the car. She was not a threat. Why did he pull his pistol and display his pistol in front of this lady to her face to threaten her with what? Death.
The line of duty is justified only if an objectively reasonable officer would believe, based on the totality of circumstances known to the officer at the time and without the benefit of hindsight, that such force is necessary and
Exactly, but he did not know that the car, right, would move forward the way it did, and him bumping into the side of the car. He would not have known that. He could not have known that, possibly. He drew the gun before any car hit him. He drew it when the car was actually backing up and not moving forward. The question is this: why did he strike? Why did he bump himself off the side of the car, on the right side of the car? Why did he bump himself off of it? Because he had already shot her. She was dead. Rigor mortis set in. So it was after the fact. The car lost control. The vehicle now was not manned because the person inside was dead. So it was an out of control vehicle.
necessary to do one of the following. One, to protect the peace officer or another from death or great.
Okay, so how could he have protected himself from death or anything from a vehicle that is moving forward? You're going to shoot the vehicle you're going to shoot the driver of the vehicle. You understand me? You shoot the driver of the vehicle. The car is now out of control. It can strike anybody in that street. He endangered his life, the driver. He endangered the officers that were grabbing onto the side of the door of the car. He endangered many people's lives. I don't know, people in the area, whatever, they could have gotten struck.
Bodily harm, provided that the threat 1, can be articulated with specificity. 2, is reasonably likely to occur absent action by the law enforcement officer. And 3, must be addressed through the use of deadly force without unreasonable delay. Which is a fancy legal way of saying you need to be able to articulate a very good reason and prove to...
Man, you have to put all the circumstances together. What are the officers' duties and their duties and obligations to the public? What are their obligations and duties? To secure safety, to make it a safe scene, not to be aggressive, acting aggressively. You understand me? They have to identify themselves as police first of all, and then they have to secure the situation. They have to make it safe. They didn't do any of that. They didn't follow procedure or anything.
Us that you really did not have any other options. Now, the imminency, that is, how quickly could this happen, is always a critical component. So had the officer who discharged the firearm maybe been 30 yards down the road and had plenty of time to get out of the way, this would be an entirely different equation here. But let us remember that the officer is directly in front of the vehicle at the time that she decides to punch it. But then there's additional statutes that would...
They didn't punch it. He killed her, and the car lost control and crashed.
Apply to anybody in this situation, whether they're a peace officer or not. Take, for example, Minnesota Statute 609.065, justifiable taking of life. That statute specifically states, the intentional taking of the life of another is not authorized by Section 609.06, except when necessary in resisting or preventing an offense which the actor reasonably believes exposes the actor or another to great bodily harm or death, or preventing the commission of a felony in the actor's place of abode. So
how did he stop the car from preventing any deaths? By shooting the passenger. You have to ask this question. How did he prevent the car? The car was active. The gas is on, the key's in, whatever. The car is running. It's active. How did he prevent that by shooting her, preventing the car from stopping? It kept going. It fucking smashed into another vehicle.
ICE officer here reasonably believes that they had been exposed.
I seen a Canadian officer where the officers were scared. He actually put 27 bullets into the hood of a car. Some crazy maniac cop here in Canada. He fucking shot the hood of a car. The police that were around them said it was dangerous. They were like, what the hell? You understand me? He stopped the car by what? Shooting the hood of the car?
To a high probability of serious injury or death, not only themselves or any other fellow officers.
Yes.
They are justified in using lethal force.
Yeah, he made the scene dangerous. But what he did, he could have harmed people and officers.
The secret to great skin? It's
Governor Tim Walz and Mayor Jacob Frey should know this because it is Minnesota law, and it took us all of about 10 seconds to look it up. Believe it or not, there is specific law that talks about the authorized use of force against police officers. So let's say that...
Yeah, what's the law using force against police officers? I'd love to know.
For whatever reason, the now deceased believed that she had absolutely every right in the world to block traffic, to go out and protest, to obstruct, hinder, delay, whatever she was doing with the ICE operations. Understand that this Minnesota law specifically states, deadly force used against peace officers. Deadly force may not be used against peace officers who have announced their...
She didn't use any deadly force. She was not armed.
Presence and are performing official duties at a location where a person is committing a crime or an act that would be a crime if committed by an adult. Well, it is very clear that they did announce who they were. They did announce their presence. And what was their whole...
I don't know if they announced that. I didn't hear them announce themselves. If they did, okay. Regardless.
The purpose of being there was to round up people for what? That's right, illegal activity. Okay, and then there's one other little legal issue that we need to discuss, and I do believe that some who believe this was cold-blooded murder are going to start beating on this drum any time now.
I'm not saying this is cold-blooded murder. I'm just putting the facts together. I don't care. See what I mean? It doesn't affect me in any way, but it does affect the people there and her and her family.
And I think it would be relevant if the officer was, in fact, more like 20 or 30 yards down the road and had a serious opportunity to get out of the way of the moving vehicle. Because in Minnesota, believe it or not, they have a duty to retreat. Just another strike against Minnesota, why it is really one of the most terrible states in America right now. But under Minnesota law, if you are in a public place and can safely avoid a confrontation or escape from danger, the law requires you to do so before resorting to force. All right.
Yeah, she's escaping danger. Okay.
And again, if we take this officer right here, put him all the way down the street here, then I think we could at least analyze this under a duty to retreat. But when you are a mere few feet from the front of a vehicle, which is clearly hell-bent on accelerating in your direction, you don't
It wasn't hell-bent on accelerating. She was killed and the car accelerated once the body hit rigor mortis.
really have that opportunity to retreat. So, America, seeing both of these video clips, understanding the legal framework, what's your opinion? Do you believe that this was a justified use of lethal force, or do you believe this was excessive force and thus constitutes a homicide? And that is the
It was excessive force, justifies homicide. He drew his gun before there was any imminent danger. He drew it while she was backing up the car, because I went through it. I went through the video, man. I went really slow, fast and slow, and saw the gun being drawn as the car was about to leave, because the officer said, you need to leave the scene. And so she was backing up the car, and she wasn't moving quick. She wasn't moving fast backing up, because he hadn't shot her at the
64th.
Sorry. So she wasn't shot at the time when he was when she was backing up. Can you imagine if he shot her while she was backing up? The car would have accelerated because rigor mortis, right? See what I mean?
$1,000 question. But now let's take more of a 35,000 foot view. And now,
Just as she was about to go forward and leave the scene, he shot her. And that's why the body accelerated, because rigor mortis.
ask ourselves this. How did we get here? How did we get here? Well, I suppose when you...
How'd you get here? I'll tell you how. People are fucking too busy acting in their personal capacities against people, using their emotions. They don't act in their duties or responsibilities anymore. They don't follow the law. They don't care. On your job, you'd be fired if you didn't follow procedure. There's something called procedure. You understand me? Did this cop not get the memo? They're no longer shooting civilians anymore. You understand me? Acting in their personal capacity. I guess the officer failed to get the memo in the mail.
You have literally every single politician from one of the two major political parties, including the most vocal of those coming from the state of Minnesota, basically calling ICE officers the Gestapo, the Nazis, things.
Well, the way they're behaving, it kind of is. They're not really behaving they're behaving more like in personal capacity than what you would call in their duties and responsibilities as so-called ICE or police officers.
Such as that, where they are essentially advocating for violence against law enforcement officers. And I want you to understand that even though you may not be thrilled with what ICE is doing,
They're not. It's just the way they're acting, just the way they're going about it. You understand me? Assaulting, physically, a bunch of things that they're doing there is just too much personal capacity.
understand that ICE constitutes law enforcement and they're just out there doing their job. And
they're just out there doing their job. So does that constitute pulling your gun out anytime you feel you can and fucking shoot people, assault people, maim, torture, assault, call them whatever names you want to call them, like fucking bitch, after you fucking done her in? I've done in that bitch, right? With my gun, I fucking gave it to her, blah, blah, blah. They don't like what they stand for, their background, this and that. So my side is better than your side. These are all acting in their personal capacities. That is not acting professionally, unfortunately. I don't see that guy as a professional. The question is this: why did he taser the other guy, but when it came to her, and he got injured, when it came to her, he didn't want to taser her. He pulled out his gun and not his taser and fucking shot her dead. Looks very planned to me. His life didn't look like it was in danger. He wasn't struck by the car or anything like that. He had a gun drawn out, pointed at her head. You think she couldn't see that?
Is a time and an opportunity to fight.
She feared for her life. It's kind of obvious. Let me ask you this question. If you're in a car and an officer, all of a sudden, you're just trying to back up and leave the scene, and an officer pulls out a gun as you're backing up, he pulls it out and points it right at you. Would you not fear for your life? A gun pointed right at you? You know a gun can kill you, right? See what I mean? So the gun didn't just go off once. It went off 3 times. He made sure she was dead.
The legality of what law enforcement has done. I've made a living out of doing that. It does
I'm sure he has. He works probably for the other side.
not occur on the street, however. It occurs in the courtroom.
How do we know this guy is not acting in his personal capacity? He's taking sides. See, I'm not taking sides. I'm not on her side. I'm not on the police officer's sides. I'm just analyzing the situation. I'm saying, does she have a right? Does she have a right to self-preservation, to protect herself? See what I mean? If she feels that she's in imminent danger, if somebody pulls a gun on you, do you not feel like you're in imminent danger? How would you feel if somebody pulled a gun on you when they are not in danger, but they pulled out a gun already and pointed at you? Who's in danger first? The question is this: who's in danger? The guy that's pulling out the gun, pointing it at you at your car and is about to shoot you. You realize you're about to be dead, and you're in your vehicle. A gun is pulled out. You haven't done anything yet other than you're kind of backing up now, and you're thinking, I got to leave this situation. And a guy already pulls out his gun, starts pointing it at you, pointing it at you. What would you do in that situation? Ask yourself this question. He's got a gun. You're in a vehicle, right? And then you back up slowly. He has the gun now pointed at you. So there's a couple of seconds there, right? What would you do in that situation? What would you do? Police are known to kill people. They shoot and ask questions later. What would you have done in that situation?
And it is the
See what I mean? What would this guy have done? Would he just like take it and get killed? So you don't know if you let's say she was, instead of him shooting her now rigor mortis and the car going out of control, let's just say she was allowed to leave the scene. So she would have left peacefully, slowly turning her wheels, and she would have just left the scene slowly, right? So what if the cop, as she's leaving slowly, doesn't want her to leave the scene? He wants her to leave as a dead corpse. So he still puts bullets in her. See what I mean? So she's leaving the scene now, and he still puts bullets in her. Let's say he waited. He didn't shoot her right away. He waited as she was going out, and then he shot her. See what I mean? Was her life still in danger? It was in danger. Once a person pulls a gun on you, your life is in danger. But the question is this: does she have a right to protect herself from somebody pulling a gun on her? See, that's the question you have to ask yourself. But regardless, I doubt she didn't hit him with the car. The car lost control because he had already killed her.
villainization. It is this violent, vile rhetoric that has come from one side of the political aisle that has created this very incendiary situation, one of extreme volatility. And unfortunately, I'm not sure that this will be the last incident that we have to break down where someone gets violent with an ICE officer requiring them to defend themselves.
He didn't even show a proper video of it, slow motion. You'll see he's drawing the gun first. He draws the gun slowly. You understand me? Yeah, I done a video on it already.
Okay, so once again, I ask all of you, what do you think? Lawful use of lethal force?
No, it wasn't. He drew a gun before she left the scene.
Cold-blooded murder, somewhere in the middle? You get to weigh in.
Cold-blooded murder. He had already planned in his mind to to relieve her. You understand me? To drop a couple of holes in her, to put a couple of holes in her.
All you got to do is let us know what you think down there.
Now, I can't, how should I put? I can't prove his thoughts, but it appears that, well, let's just put it this way. This is based on, like, I'm trying to put things to the scenario. Once a person draws a gun, you ever heard of the West? They always say this, if you're going to draw a gun on somebody, you better be ready to use it. You ever heard that before? That old saying in the West? You'd have like cowboys, drawing guns on each other. If you're going to draw a gun on somebody, you better use it because they're going to fucking kill you first. They're going to kill you first before you can fucking get them. See what I mean? That's the question. Why was he pulling a gun on her? He had not hit her with the car. He pulled the gun while she was backing up.
In the description box. Listen, we'll go ahead and link up everything we relied upon in making this video so that you don't have to take
Yeah, you do that, friend. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I'm out of here.
our word for it. You can just geek out on it for yourself. Now, listen, if you got any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. But if you don't, that's okay.
Yeah, what's her rights in this situation? I guess she has none. It's all about the cop.
Information down there in the description box.
See, he never explains any of her rights. He just talks about the police officer according to the law. The police officer, he doesn't have rights. He has duties and responsibilities. That's what he has. And then you have some law that applies to him, right? Certain things that he's doing within his duties and responsibilities. Like if he feels like his life is in imminent danger, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that looked like imminent danger to me from some lady in the car, but whatever.
If you got an idea for a video we should be doing around here, go ahead and click on that link right there to tell us all about it.
Yeah, he was in real imminent danger while there was like 4 ICE officers around there, right? Very imminent danger, yes.
If you want to subscribe to our monthly newsletter and
I'll see you in the next one, man, and I'm out of here.